Hello and welcome to Patrick's models and shoe repair. Okay, so I'm not repairing shoes. My wife has bought a pair of 10 centimeter 4-inch heeled pumps on the Vinted platform in decent condition. This is a very comfortable high heel shoe and in number 39. And the problem is that the person who sold it, the shoes were cheap, they fit the description. There was a slight scuff mark here on the heel, nothing particular, nothing that we can't fix up maybe with a... Generally, I use a spot of, when I have to tidy up a heel, a scraped heel, I use a spot of matte modelling paint, Vallejo paint. It's fantastic. And then after, you put shoe polish on top of it. So these shoes are not real leather. They're a very good quality, soft, man-made leather or artificial leather. The problem is that the person who sold her the shoes polished them up using one of those polishing sponges. So not even nasty paint-on shoe polish. The person didn't use real shoe polish either, which would be the best option. So even on a pair of shoes which are not real leather, because you know, proper leather shoes, you polish them with shoe polish in a tube, in a tin. Always use shoe polish, proper shoe polish, the one in a tin or in a tube, because the kind of paint on stuff which is very liquid with a wee sponge at the front, that just makes a nasty film on top of the shoe, and then it cracks and it doesn't feed the leather and it's rubbish. But in the case of a man-made leather shoe, in this case here, this is man-made leather, this is, so man-made leather, what's man-made leather? Man-made leather is cloth, fabric, which is then covered with a kind of rubber, no? Various layers of resins and rubber, which can be more or less. In the case of these shoes here, this brand, which is Marco Tozzi, they're a Italian name but a German ownership, made in, oh, these ones, they actually say made in Germany. Sometimes they're made in Germany. These are actually made in Germany, it says Germany in there, but other times they're made in Vietnam, on German design. So a very comfortable high-heeled shoe. She never complains about these. Very nice soft insole and all the rest of it, so a very good quality shoe. So it has one defect, at least on the pair she already has, that in time the rubber, the fake leather film on top of the fabric tends to crack. You can see here, for example, here it's peeled. It's peeled a bit in this case here. I don't know what you can see. Yes, you can see. These are the shoes that came second hand today, so they've just arrived. So underneath you can see the fabric material. But by polishing them well, by keeping them tidy, this is a very good long-lasting shoe, and so she'll have plenty of elegant walking in these. Anyway, the problem is the person who sold them polished them up using one of those polishing sponges. Those polishing sponges, what have they got inside? They have a kind of siliconic oil. The sponge is got this kind of siliconic polish inside. And the stuff, it's utter rubbish. It's not even good for shining your shoes quickly, because if you polish your shoes, you use normal polish, regular polish, and you just want to brighten up your shoes, whether they're leather or fake leather or man-made leather, all you need to do is use a good soft brush. You take the dust off and the shoe comes nice and shiny. I'm a bit of a fussy person regarding polishing shoes. I use leather shoes myself, very simple, heavy duty. I've got ex-Italian army going out shoes. I've had them for years. I could once talk about shoes as well, it's still part of transport. And my grandfather, my Scottish grandfather, taught me to polish shoes. And I've been doing it since I was 12. So I've got shoe polishing and general maintenance is my job in this household. So going back to these shoes here. that siliconic sponge simply does a film, a sticky film. This feels sticky. As soon as you took them out of the box, they're all sticky. And there's dust on them. Look at that. Look at the dust there. So what I'm doing, I'm degreasing them using our good old friend, the lighter fluid. Because lighter fluid is an excellent degreaser. We know that lighter fluid doesn't damage plastic and rubber. I've already done this part here, and it's nice and smooth again. So I'm degreasing these now. I'll just show you. I'm not going to do the whole both shoes. I'll just show you exactly the technique, and and that way they'll be nice and degreased and ready for applying a very light film of black shoe polish tomorrow. I'll use a cloth. I don't use a brush on these because it's fake leather. What I'm going to do this evening, I'm going to touch up the scabby parts, these scraped bits here, using some black Vallejo paint. So that's what I'm going to do. So what do we do? How do we do this job? Spot of lighter fluid on a tissue. We can be generous. And then we just take the shoe and clean it up. This person's not going to be getting good comments on Vinted because she didn't even clean the soles underneath. Yuck. So I'm degreasing them, following the contour of the upper, and this way I'm getting rid of this nasty grease, and you can see that there's absolutely no damage to the artificial leather. I'm going to turn this round, put some more on it. Lighter fluid is a fantastic product. This polishing sponge is not even good for 5 minutes. Do the heel as well. And now I'm going to just clean the soles because I'm going to be handling these. I've got a scabby bit of paper here on top of the modelling mat that then I'll throw away. Now, you can't sell a pair of shoes second hand and not even clean the soles. There might be anything underneath them. Mud. It's mud, it's not something else. Okay. Right, that shoe's ready for cleaning, for sprucing up. Now I'm going to touch up these parts. Even a black marker pen could be used here, huh? One of these marker pens, as long as it's a black, matte black, and you cover up the scabby bit. And I think I'm going to give it another shot because it's really, this can go in the paper bin. Let's give it another clean. Okay. Because it's still kind of sticky around here, and since I want to apply shoe polish to it, I'd like it to be nice and clean. Get rid of this nasty siliconic compound. They've never been polished in their life. It's probably always been treated with that junk. Okay, that's definitely better. And I'll tell you another trick. There are also ladies following my channel, at least according to the stats. So if you want, I don't know if you can see this, to make sure, I've worked as an interpreter and teacher for the shoemaking sector here in Italy, and I've learned a few tricks. So a high-heeled shoe is very important for it to be stable. You see, it mustn't fall over. It has to have a well-balanced center of gravity. Otherwise, the person wearing it will wobble along like that. So the trick is you have to drop it from a certain height and it has to land standing. See? It landed upright. Okay, now I dropped it like this, but let's do it like this. It has to land standing. It mustn't fall over. That means it's a well-balanced shoe. If you drop it from a height and it falls over on the side, it means that the shoe isn't balanced, is not in trim, and whoever wears it will have problems. Will be uncomfortable, they'll have sore ankles, things like this, sore feet. The other thing is, on a high-heeled shoe, another very important thing to check is, now I don't know, I'm not really close, you can see that the tip of the shoe is slightly turned up, the point is turned up, right? Because it has to invite the step. See? This is the movement. If the tip of the shoe is completely flat, the shoe will be completely flat, and the foot will slip out at the back because there's no laces. It will make walking much more difficult, much more complicated, and consequently walking, tripping over, losing shoes, sore feet, blisters, etc, etc, etc. So this is the trick. I was taught this by a technical shoe designer. The curiosity about shoes, designing shoes, a shoe is a highly technical piece of equipment, even a high-heeled shoe, where somebody might contradict, saying that the high-heeled shoe, so it's not functional. But in reality, it's functional for being a high-heeled shoe. Because if you want to obtain a shoe with a heel, this is the most functional thing you can come up with. In fact, this is the standard version. And the important thing is thin sole, well padded, shoes with a platform, very uncomfortable, problems, I know by my wife's experience and talking to other people. They can be unstable. The distance between the ball of the foot and the heel must be quite long, quite generous. So the heel has to be right underneath the heel of the foot so that it's stable. This has to be very stable. If it's here, the shoe becomes unstable because the base is less, shorter. You understand? It's a bit like a building. This is a piece of engineering. And inside we have various components. For example, we have the. I'm not going to go and talk about shoes in detail now. This is not the function of the channel. But we have, of course, the outer sole. We have the insole. We have various reinforcing part material, stiffening stuff. Very important here at the back. This part mustn't be the heel seat. This part's called heel seat. It mustn't be too low and it mustn't be too high. If it's too low, the shoe comes off. If it's too high, it rubs on the ankle. This material has to be a well reinforced part. If you see here in a heel seat, there's always fabric, something more rough, so that the heel seat catches on the foot and doesn't fall off. No, that's very important. Yes, it's drying now. There's still sort of stickiness, but it's better than what it was before. It was really disgusting before. I think I might, off camera, I'll give it another go with a lighter fluid. And in here, for example, there's a shank. There's a metal shank here, right there, which connects. There's the arch of the heel, and the heel itself is screwed on with a screw and a base metal plate directly onto the shank. So before a heel breaks off a high-heeled shoe, there's a lot of stresses. This is subject to incredible stresses, no? And it's very difficult, in particular on a shoe, for the heel to break. It might happen on a boot, because the boot, if the shoe gets stuck, it comes off. If the boot gets stuck, it doesn't come off, and it might break the heel. But to break a heel, you really have to extreme, or else it's a badly made shoe, fundamentally. So that's a myth. There's a lot of myths in high heels. So anyway, that's that. There's number 39, Marco Tozzi, nearly ready for getting a later touch up and some polish tomorrow. The other one's down here. In fact, I'll show you the other one. You can actually see in camera how disgusting it is. This one here is slightly scuffed as well on the tip, on the point here. That'll camouflage that with some polish, just polish. And you can see it's glistening. Look at the dust on there. Look at that. Look at that. So this one is nice and clean, and this one here is needing cleaned. So okay, so that was a bit of a different topic compared to our usual videos. Cheerio from Patrick the Cobbler, and see you next time.